Hey everyone, I decided to record this trade here. Now I'm just kind of voicing over, talking through what happened. So, bought the close of this strong bull bar. When I see a bar that opens basically on its low, with minimal tail on the bottom, and closes on its high like it did here, really strong chance you're going to get a little bit more up. So, different ways you could do this. You could do a scalp. Actually, you could do a swing trade as well. I'm going to talk about the swing trade option in a moment, but for the scalp, you're really just looking for a little bit more up, right? In this case, I didn't want to risk too much. Another option is you could put your stop farther away, but I think here, pretty strong odds that we'll get a little bit more up before getting that a little bit more down to stop you out. So here I'm thinking a little bit more up, and what I'm going to draw on the screen here in a moment are some of the reasons why I think we'll get that little bit more up. One, on the left, you can see that trend line working down through there. So yesterday was a bear day. Pretty clearly, several touches of that trend line, and we broke above it. After the breakout above that, you see I just drew the wedge bottom on there. So today has had three pushes down, and then a pretty strong move up. That's our buy the close bar. After a wedge and a strong move up like that, you're probably going to get a second leg up. So wedge bottom, buy the close bar, probably going to get a little bit more up. And I'm just trying to get that scalp out of it. So what about the swing trade option? Well, you could, but today has been sideways so far, and we're also following that bear trend from yesterday. So yes, it is possibly a breakout above the yesterday's trend line, and we could have a swing trade up. I don't think that's necessarily bad, but in this case, I'm seeing, we are getting near the top of the trading range that we've had so far today, and so I'd rather be taking profits at the top of that trading range instead of trying to swing trade. So I think the scalp has the higher expected outcome here. So you notice what I did? I went ahead and moved my profit target down, and just wanted to. To me, that was a little bit more up. Right, we had to buy the close bar, and after 3 points up to the top of the range, that's all I wanted to get. I didn't want to have it above the top of that range. Um, I didn't feel like the odds were strong enough based on how I had my bracket orders set up. So I just wanted to get the 3 points out of it, and be done with that scalp trade. Hey, so now I'm back talking live. So you can see that was about tick perfect. If I would have tried to get one more tick out of it, probably wouldn't have been able to. And then there's that pullback. So breakout bar, buy the close bar, and then there's your little bit more up. Someone could be having a stop down here and trying to get a swing up, maybe to test yesterday's high up here. Um, but with this, we haven't really had enough of a pattern yet to increase those odds. So yes, breakout of this trend line, and we've had these attempts go lower. So yes, that's true. I'd like to see more bars before really betting on a larger swing trade up. And so just getting the 3 points, that's I intended to go in to get a scalp, and I got the scalp, so I'm happy with that. This is what I call a large bar trading range. So yes, it's a trading range, but the bars are large. So the moves here are pretty sharp. It's large move down, then up, then quick break down, and then pretty quick up. So trading's hard enough, but I've noticed that a large bar trading range is usually fairly difficult because uh, let's say you're buying somewhere, like let's say you're trying to buy here. Well, the if you're going to put your stop below a bar, then look, your stop is more than half. It's 2/3 of the size of the range, and then so your reward is not all that great, and then but your risk is great. So you really need to have high probability, and you need to be really selective to trade in a large bar trading range. The range so far has not been that large compared to the prior day's range. So you can see we're getting this sideways movement, but the total range is not all that large. And So compare that to yesterday's range, it's not even half of yesterday's range. So when we're getting these large bars like this, the market is wanting to break out of this area that we're in. I'm not saying it won't still end up as a trading range today. Uh, that's probably what we will end up as. But it can be a trading range after breaking out in either direction. So let's just say it breaks out to the downside. So it breaks out down below this low, and then it can test the overnight low and test yesterday's low, and then probably reverse back up into this area. Or if it breaks out to the upside, breaks out up, it tests the overnight high, might try to test yesterday's high, and then it can reverse back down. So it can actually break out and then still end up as a trading range day. So I expect that to happen. I don't think we'll go sideways here the whole day. I think we'll break out of this, and then we'll either try to double the range in either direction. So be on the lookout for that when you see a large bar trading range like this. It's in breakout mode. The market is wanting to break out. It wants to break out here, and then here, and then here, and here, and it keeps doing this. And that's what a trading range does. But in this scenario, the breakout probably will happen. It's just that breakout won't lead to all that much more. It'll probably end up as a trading range today. Here's the daily chart. Pretty strong, bold trend. And near the end of this trend up here, we've had, what is this, 10 days without a bear bar. So 10 bar channel, kind of late in a move already. I'm still bullish. I wouldn't become bearish until we get below the moving average and then have some sort of like topping pattern below the moving average. So when might I start to think about getting bearish? Well, if the market gets below the moving average and then maybe create some sort of double top, and then I'll start to look to get bearish somewhere right over here. And I really don't want to consider the market overbought, or I wouldn't want to look to sell until I at least get that, because the market can continue to do this for a long time. It can continue to do this up to 7,000 or beyond even. I mean, we're really not even that far from 7,000. Look at the COVID reversal we had. It was a sharp move down, and then basically did this for a year. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we just continue to do this for several more months. I don't think we will. I think we'll slow down some here. I think we'll still have more up, but I think we'll probably slow down. In the meantime, what I've been saying since like Thursday or Friday of last week, so right around here, I was thinking we probably would go sideways, and then the moving average would catch up. So we're far from the moving average. After 10 bars like this, probably not going to reverse right down. Probably not necessarily going to continue up strongly, but probably going to take a breather, and then because we're way above the average price, so it's going to give the average price time to catch up with the actual price. So we're kind of doing what I thought we would. We're just kind of going sideways, and then the moving average will catch up to price up here. One thing to note, so this green line I have, this is the all-time high on the futures contracts. So far, we are having a failed breakout of that high. It's kind of a classic look. We broke above it, reversed down, tried to go above again, and couldn't. And now we're below the all-time high, and we've created this double top. So yeah, I mean that's true. We have a double top. We're failing to break out of the all-time high. But like I said, I wouldn't think about shorting until we really see a much stronger reversal pattern. Until there's more clearly looking like a top. There's a lot of buying that led up to this, a lot of really consistent buying. I don't think a single double top here means a reversal, somewhere down here. I think we're going to need more. I think we need to go sideways more. I think we need more attempts to go higher before I would consider trying to short. So I would, so in my mind, I'm remaining bullish. There's been way too many times I've learned through experience that trying to bet against the trend is a mistake. Usually the first time you think the market's gone too far, usually you have many months or a year or two more of buying left, and then that's when the market has gone too far. So when you start to think, I think the market's gone too far, then usually it has a lot more. So when you have your first thought about that, don't jump in and get short. So back to the 5 minute. Yeah, this chart is very coiled up. It's ready to strike. It's ready to break out and go either down here or up here. This is something you can kind of develop an eye for, is when the market is kind of charging up and it seems like a breakout will happen. So what's happening is that people are taking swing buys like down here, trying to buy this and trying to get a profit up here. And they're selling like high up in the range. They're selling below bar 1 or selling here or here, betting that the breakout instead would be down here and we'd come down to yesterday's low. So both sides are taking these swing trades, and basically, I mean, they do that until one side wins, and they know, if they buy here, their risk isn't all that large, but their reward might be somewhere way up here. So it's profitable for both sides to try to be taking these swing trades like this. And like I said, it's a trading range, and you should expect trading ranges to continue in general. But with this being a large bar trading range, with it being on the open, yes, it signals that we'll probably have more trading range price action throughout the day. But this is a small range relative to prior days ranges. So this range will probably double. So I don't want to bet too strongly selling up here or buying down here unless I'm doing a swing trade and I'm actually betting on the breakout of the trading range. So let's say I was selling up here. I think it actually make more sense in this case to try to bet. So usually in a trading range, you want to scalp because your profits disappear quickly. But now that we're getting this large bar trading range, it seems like there's a pretty strong chance that if you sell up here, you won't just get your scalp down, you actually get much more and possibly come down here. So these are things to consider. Like this bull bar right here, wedge bottom, double bottom with these two lows. A lot of people buying here for a swing buy up. So that might look like this. They're buying here, stop below. They're going for, at a minimum, 2 times their risk, put them up here. But I don't think that's enough if you're buying here. I think you need to go for more like 3 times and try to get up here. That makes sense. You're buying here. If you're right, you can probably get a pretty good move up because we expect this range to double. And there's also targets above here. Look at this empty space we have. Well, if you can get above these levels, then there's a lot of empty space there, and the clear target is this high over here. So yeah, if I was to buy there, that's the kind of setup I would want to take. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. Check it out. Check out how this day ends, and I bet we either test down here or test up here at some point. I think we'll make a reasonable breakout below the low or the high, but then that market won't go all that far. I don't think this will turn into a trend day. I think we'll have a reasonable size move up or down, but then that's going to be it. It's not going to have follow through. And then looking again at the daily chart, like I said, I think we're going sideways. So I don't think we're going to have any big moves over the next, really for this week. I don't think we'll have any big moves up or down. I think we're kind of going to go, have these fairly controlled moves down or fairly controlled moves up until that moving average catches up, and then we'll do something different.